Good evening, good afternoon. Actually, the way that Alex would say it is said good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. So, this is going to be a bit surreal for me because, as you know, Alex was the anchor man when it came into the Easy Talk, and he held it. He held it, Applause to Alex. We have got in the house at this moment in time John Laguna. We've got Glenwyn, brother from another mother, as Alex would always call him. We've got Prosper in the house as well. Prosper, how you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm doing
Salute,
great. I'm
salute.
doing great.
So what I'm going to be doing, I mean, I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at my screen at the same time. I'm going to look at my other screen as well, balancing all kinds of plates. But first and foremost, welcome to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over the world. This is an easy talk, and I would say, in respect to Alex, the way Alex used to do the easy talk, he would get four special guests, five, maybe even six sometimes, and we talk about all things Arsenal, as you know, the whole point of Canal 4 TV was for Arsenal fans all over as well. Now, without further ado, the weekend just gone. I was in work, and in the group chat, I did say that I didn't watch the match on Sunday, but I had a foreboding. I'm not sure if you guys ever have that kind of feeling in the pit of your stomach when you don't settle, when you sense that something may be slightly off. And in this case, for me, it was Man City. I like to call them Sete because I think they're a bunch of. And I better leave it like that. But City,
Not sure what happened to Alex to Ralph. Um,
came to Wembley. Um, oh, there we go. We're back. We're back. There's a slight delay. So just to say, my manager in work said, "Oh, Ralph, because he's an Arsenal fan, we're going to do them." And I said to him, "I don't know. I don't know." I had that sense of foreboding. And on my way back from work, it was a beautiful day Sunday, but on my way to work, the clouds was present. I was thinking this is not a good sign, and I got in, and of course we lost 2-0. Did you guys see the match at all?
I see
uh,
the first half with my grandson. He was 10. And it was like 0-0. I was thinking this is going to be penalties, but I was feeling kind of confident after Spurs got beat 3-0. I was like, yeah, this is going to be a good day, man. Come on, all we need to do now is beat Man City. But you know something? I think we got lulled in a false sense of security. Man City are a top team. You know what I mean? You've got to be on your game for 90 minutes. And the second half, I only see the highlights, and it was quite embarrassing, really, because it was like schoolboy errors cost us the game. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to slate that goalkeeper, but it was terrible. Any of us would have saved that. Any of us, you know what I mean? But that's not on him. That was just a terrible mistake. The rest of the game, we just didn't turn up. And what I think's bad, Ralph, do you know what I mean? What I think is really bad, people pay a lot of money to see that game. I sit at home watching it on the telly, it ain't really costing me much, but people pay a fortune to go to Wembley for a day out, and the Arsenal didn't turn up in the second half. I don't know what happened, but the other lads might have an explanation, but sometimes that just happens. I remember the Arsenal against West Ham and Ipswich years ago. It was just such an anticlimax because they just never got out the traps, and that seems to be exactly what happened yesterday and Sunday. Sorry, and do you know what, lads? What's disappointing me a lot is you should always play your best better. best players in the final. No sentiments, especially whatever happened to Aaron Ramsdale. The way they got rid of him. Do you know what I mean? In goal, the way they got rid of
But
him,
John,
and then, huh?
John, do you think though that this is a thing that Alex used to say to me? Again, I watched one of our many chats on Canfield TV a while back, and he would say to me, "Hindsight is a wonderful thing, you know, ifs,
Yeah,
ands, buts,
I
and maybe
agree.
could be
It
anything."
is a
But
wonderful thing, but it's a wonderful thing. But football's a big business now. It's all about money. Play your best 11. Put them out first. I'm laughing because Rad's been given Player of the Month, right? And I'm like, he's got Player of the Month, but he couldn't even get a game Sunday. And I get why Arteta did it because he'd already played the other geezer in the previous cup games before. But to me, Alex, there's no sentiment in football. He should have put his best 11. And on saying that, the keeper didn't cost us the game. The whole team did. They were terrible. I don't think any of them got over 5 in the ratings from most of the papers.
okay, so Prosper, what about you? Did you manage to see the match?
Well, in the first place, to be honest, I thought we were gonna win this one. Simply because before the game, Man City has had a very terrible year, off the pitch issues, and going into that final, they didn't have their seasoned defenders. They didn't have their centre backs. They had injuries and they had to fill in. So when we were going into that game, I was all confident. I was like, okay, fine, this is the moment. And then 15, 20, 30 minutes into the game, I started feeling it going away from us now. Like, as usual, butlers started going. Yeah, but as John was saying, you don't go into a final with sentiments. Oh, this player, it won't feel good, especially if you're a manager who hasn't got any trophies under your belt. Guardiola can afford to do that, and the world forgive him. Has got so many trophies, but when you're going up against people like managers like Guardiola, you gotta bring your A game and bring your best team. Intimidate the opponent. And I think Arteta misfired on that part. Attacking midfield was all nothing. I feel Kai Havertz was rushed into a big game. He's not yet into the game after the injury. I think we should have played better. There was no connection between the centre forward and the rest of the team. So it was just flat out at the top end of the pitch.
Kai Havertz,
I heard
you could blame him. He missed the sitter, didn't he, Prosper? Kai Havertz. I think you'd have buried that one, mate.
I heard that our midfield went missing as well, but Eberici Eze, he was injured. And it's like we seem to be a bit of a crock city at the moment in the fact that, Odegaard, I'm not sure if he played, but Rice went missing as well. Saka also. You can't have, out of 11 players, you can't have 4 or 5 players missing, especially in the final. Do you think that Arteta is to blame as well?
The manager's always to blame. But he can only put a team out. They all know how to play football, Alex, don't they? Ralph, sorry, mate. They all know how to play football. They're professional. They've been playing it since they were kids. So you can't tell me they don't know what to do once they're out on that pitch. Yeah, Arteta, I'd say, yeah, like I say, the keeper, he shouldn't have played. Arteta, at the end of the day, yeah, he takes the money as the manager. He's got to take the blame, isn't he? Simple as that. But I don't know what he come out and said. Personally, I'd give the fans their money back. That's what I would do. Because
I can see that we've got
just
El
didn't
Tel
turn
in the
up.
house as well. Eltel, are you able to join us? I can see that your egg timing as well on the screen.
Yeah, it's also probably a network issue there.
We'll wait for him. Okay, so if Arteta's to blame, and the players don't turn up, there's not much more that we as fans can do. We have to sit and take it. Do you think that this potentially could derail our title running, or would you just say it's a bad day at the office, guys?
I'm probably going to have to say something on that, Ralph, is that, yeah, I think just two different competitions. Mentally, you probably want to leave it at Wembley for now. And I think, and I've said it in the group chat as well, is that none of our players, including the manager together, has played in a final before. Certain players was in the final in 2020, but they didn't play per se. Like maybe Saka on the bench and the manager was there, but none of them has got that experience. They've got the experience to play every game up until the semi-finals, and they didn't play a final, and they didn't know how to manage that. That's on the manager. The manager should have prepared them for that big stage to keep that mental strength at the situation of. 25 minutes in the game, we played very well. I mean, the keeper made three saves together. It's Bukayo Saka twice the shots, and since then they didn't have a shot on target again. And I think it's easy to blame the manager for the tactic. It's easy to blame the manager for all sorts of things, for obviously putting the team out there. At the end of the day, is the tactics is to explain to us as players. The manager has explained to us what he expects from us, and in that game, he obviously has to manage it. So yes, it is on the manager, but the players, like John also said, they know how to play football. So somewhere along the line, these seniors, i.e. Gabriel, Saliba, Rice, and Saka being the captain, they need to obviously come to the party and say, lads, we have a responsibility to our fans and to each other. We have to keep each other honest and accountable. It's easy to go to the blaming route of the manager, but we also have to take the responsibility. Like also John mentioned, the guys were lost. They weren't found after that 25 minutes. So at the end of the day, it is easy for us as fans also to jump on that bandwagon and to go on and say, but Arteta this, Arteta that. But who can we point out in that team that really did a hard work other than Saliba? Saliba had, and maybe Gabriel had Haaland very they had him tight, they had his number. And also where the game changed for me was when Nkapia got a yellow card because he couldn't play his game afterwards. And also the most fact is that the occasion was too big for the players, and I think the manager got sucked into the occasion and the players followed suit. So we never played our tactical game. We played the occasion being at Wembley, our first trophy that we can sort of come and get at Wembley. And City saw that. City saw that the occasion is too big for us. City saw and they capitalized on the mistakes we've made, but also they saw that our mentality is not in the actual football, but it's in the stage where we're playing that football. And that is the problem we had in this whole final. 25 minutes we played football, and thereafter we collapsed completely. And I think both manager and players have to take responsibility.
But then, like you mentioned, and also John mentioned as well,
I can't get it there. Find on to their system here.
Are they on the top?
That's it there.
And you can't get on.
Well, it's there, but it's stuck.
Sorry, I had to mute him. I'm not sure what's happening.
He's not saying he's in the pub somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't hear. Can you hear us? You can't hear us.
You get there, you go down to the harbour. You were on the boat. Yeah. Go down there. It's actually better here. Yeah.
There's a bit of a noise in the background there.
Yeah, it's got a lot of noise in the background. It's like he's in the pub or something. So sorry, as I mentioned earlier, Glenwyn, the way on your observation and John's observation as well is the fact that, but these guys, it's not to say they haven't been in finals before. The senior players now, you know, like John mentioned, a lot of the fans went in. Most of them went with the expectation that, well, Man City have been on a bad run. The cup is a one-off kind of match, so form sometimes does go out the window. But surely, you know, desire and having a game plan would have eased them into, you know, from what I heard the first half, they had the first half was theirs pretty much, except for, you know, missing a sitter. The second half, they didn't show up. So what was the tactical switch that Pep did that Arteta couldn't get a grasp of?
Yeah, it's just like I said. I mean, in that second half, also in the latter stages of the first half, in that second half, I think the guys, they lost control of what they came there to do. They had to come there, and Prosper mentioned it earlier on. I was also sure we're going to win that game, and our mentality was so strong building up to that game. And the boys said they don't listen to the outside noise. They are excited to play in the final, but we lost focus on those things, and that is where Pep and his team, they smell that blood. They could feel that there is something that they could do because they grew into the game. The fact that we didn't take our chances, they blocked us. Because I mean, let's face it, Man City, most of their players has played together in finals and won trophies. Yes, our players have played finals, but not as a unit. And that is why I say we don't have the experience as a unit to play there. Hence, we have to call upon the leaders of that team individually. I mean, many people say we need a game changer, and none of our seniors was that game changer. And that is where we had to come together and say, you do this, we do this, and we lost it. I mean, I think in the 30th, 35 minute, we lost the game already, because now we're chasing a Pep Guardiola's team. Rodri was brilliant in that midfield, whereby we had two defensive midfielders against him, but he was the one who dictated the tempo of the game. And that is where we as a team collapsed, because our focus shifted to the stage of being at Wembley. And it was a poor performance. And it's everybody that then Arsenal was supposed to be blamed.
I have to say though, John, Glenwyn, that the venue should, as grandiose the venue is, because it's always the finale to an FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, or even if it's Champions League in some cases. The players, it's not to say that the players haven't played there before. It's not to say that the players don't know the opposition, because they play them, you know, almost week in, week out in the Premiership. The cup games are very, you know, thereabouts. If you get them in the cup game, then I suppose from a tactical point of view, that could change. Every time I keep looking at the screen, I want to try and get El Tawi, but he keeps disappearing. So
I think there's network issues there.
Yeah. Okay, so if we're not going to blame the keeper, but sentiment goes out the window, what would you have done, Prosper? Would you have played Raya?
Sorry. In the first place, I think the only variable that's not changed at Arsenal is the manager in a long, long time. And tactically, that game the first half we were going for it, we were going for the kill. Then somewhere in the first half, the manager realized that if you focused a lot, you would find that he was throwing long balls, and those seemed a lot effective when we hit long balls and our strikers had to chase them. The Man City defenders were uncomfortable. They also got yellow cards in the first half. One of the centre backs got a yellow card in the first half. So Arteta in the second half told them, okay, sit back, let them come in, then we hit long balls so that we'll outpace them. And that killed us because the pressure that came after that was just too much. For me, I think the manager got it wrong tactically, but this is what you get when you have a manager who's inexperienced. And unfortunately, his assistant or his second in line is not also an experienced manager. You know, at least when you haven't been in the game that long, at the highest level, you have to get at least an experienced second manager who's won trophies to tell you, okay, here I think this is where you have to change the game like this. And I don't think Arteta Henry is that experienced to tell Arteta they need to excel. He's a very good defensive second, but he's not the attacking type. So we're learning as we go, but the cost of losing is just too high because if we look at player for player, I was just looking at the Man City lineup, and much as we can say the Arsenal team hasn't played the final together, but that Man City, only like 3, if not 4 players are regulars from the Man City that like that. This team has been changing, and so there was only Haaland, Doku, Silva, Rodri, and Ake as the regulars. The rest of the guys, Semenyo, Kuznov, Nunes, the goalkeeper Trafford, O'Reilly, these are young guys who just come in this season. And this Arsenal team that has been playing with the same players. At least the core team has been the same for the past 3-4 years. So if you look at it, it all boils down to the difference for that game was Pep Guardiola and Arteta. Guardiola knows what to do in the final, knows what to do when the pressure is on him, knows how to switch the team tactically, and he did that. Second half, Arteta only had one game plan and we were gone, which was a counter attack. It didn't work, and we were going. So that's it for me.
I remember watching another Easy Talk, and I think Paul Bray as well as El Tal was in this, and Alex did say, I say God rest him now, but Alex did say that he didn't think he had enough of Arteta. He was very adamant that he had enough of Arteta. So here we are, we're 1 cup down. I didn't think the quadruple would be on. I mean, it would be lovely in a sense because, as you guys in your observations had said, that just to win that trophy, and we haven't won it for the longest period. Some of the statisticians amongst you will know exactly how many years we haven't won it. It would have been maybe a good benchmark and maybe some kind of motivation to say, right, 1 cup down, we've won something. Now let's go for either Champions League, the FA Cup, and the big one, the Premiership. So, guys, where do you think we stand? I know Glenwyn had mentioned that it's a Carabao Cup. Of course, it's done and dusted now. We've lost, but in terms of mentality, because that's what it is. Their mentality is that no matter how much of a bad run Man City has been on, they still manage to get over the line with winning the cup. So on the flip side now, we've got Arsenal who've gone in and they've lost. How much of a mentality shift do you think that could have on them in the title run? I'll give that question to John Laguna first.
Well, you're right, Alex. Going back to this Carabao Cup, I think Arsenal have disrespected that cup for such a long time. They've been in 4 finals and not won any of them. Do you remember the Birmingham one? That was another really disappointing one. When I think the French captain just sat in the middle and sulked, didn't he? We missed we lost the game. I can't remember his name now, but Sol Campbell's cousin, weren't he? We got him from Chelsea. That was a terrible thing. But yeah, do you know, there's a culture. Winning breeds winners, right? This is why I say they should have put out the strongest team possible, right? That should have been the plan. That's what I don't care if what's it played all games, drop him. But and I think Arteta goes back on his word on these things. I'm telling you, he's got his little favourites, old Arteta. And another thing, Ralph, let's give credit to Man City, right? We took our eye off the ball. Two terrible goals we gave away. I'll put that keeper down for the second one as well. He was too slow. And we lost the game in the space of 5 minutes. There was no recovery. A team like Man City, you don't recover from that. They just put their heads in their hand, Arsenal, and just felt sorry for themselves for the rest of the game. Kind of gave up. But you're right. Leading on to what you just said, that would have been a brilliant boost, wouldn't it, to win that trophy? And Arteta, he's been to Wembley twice, Prosper. He's played in the FA Cup and he's played in the Charity Shield. So he's no, he's no stranger to cup finals. So I'm not sure what his mentality was at this game. I've got a funny feeling they didn't take it as serious as what they should have done. And the quadruple, it was a bit of a laugh talking about it, a bit of a dream. We're lucky we got in that position, which was great. But for any team to ever do that, that takes a hell of a doing. But to fall flat at the final, the first hurdle, that was disappointing. Do you know what I mean? Disappointing. They just didn't get out of second gear, Arsenal. But it will have a boost. It will have a knock-on effect, I reckon. But on saying that, Ralph, Victor Gores, he's got an hat-trick, didn't he, yesterday against Ukraine, Sweden. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he had a terrible game for Arsenal. But he was up for it.
But I think the way that Sweden played, they played to his strengths. I mean, the team as a whole, they've got good players there anyway, but they played to his strength. I didn't see the goals. I know he scored a hat trick, but one of his teammates tried to push him towards the crowd because he seemed a bit sheepish. But that's the difference, getting over the line.
But what I'm saying, that obviously that lose didn't affect his confidence. I mean, they're professionals; they get paid a hell of a lot of money. So like this. That confidence don't really wash with me. Maybe on some of the younger players, they get paid a hell of a lot of money to perform, and they've been doing it for most of their life, so they know how to get up and play football. Ralph, do you know what I mean? But going into the next game, it definitely put a question mark. It might be a good thing. It might buck their ideas up. You've had a taste of losing in a final now. It ain't very nice. It ain't very nice for you. Ain't very nice for the fans. Do not lose. You cannot afford to lose any more games. You know what I mean? That Pepe, he knows how to get the job done. He knows how to get his team over the line. He's still a bit more smarter. Still a bit more smarter than old Arteta is. You know what I mean? Arteta is learning. I cannot see him throwing the title away now, but you never know, do you? With Arsenal, you just never know what's going on their heads. Mentality has always been a problem with them. They ain't got that elite mentality yet. I don't think they're going to lose the title. I think they can't lose it, Ralph. I can't see it, but you never say never. City ain't going to just sit behind and wait till they win it. Win it.
You say about mentality, John. I think the mentality part.
Arsenal. It's been proven in this cup final. That's
season. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they've just got a mental block somewhere along the line, and Do you know what? Who was the captain Sunday? Oh, no, I thought it would have been Declan Rice. It was Saka. I don't think he's a captain. Great player. I don't think he's a captain. And he's another one went missing. And I think he's been overplayed. I think he needs a big rest. But you know, for the last few seasons, he's only a young lad. He's really been overplayed a lot, and all put on his head. I'm hoping he don't turn into another Theo Walcott. You know, he sort of, we had great hopes from him, and in the end, he just turned out an average player, didn't he? Well, I think Saka's a bit better than that, but you know, they've got to look at these players. So they can quickly go to scrap heap very quickly, and heads will go down. I can't see him losing this title, but he must be putting doubts in Arteta's head. If he thinks that was his best team, what did he get home and think? Because he thought, "What? How comes we ain't won that? I've tried everything." What is his mentality? You know,
I think by the goalkeeper, it was his best availability. Everybody's calling out for Darman to have started the game. I think Darman is a very bright player. We didn't have any creative player in the squad except for Darman. Let's be honest, there was no Eze, there was no Odegaard.
Would you put Dalman in then, Glenn?
Look at
into a final? Would you risk him?
Not from the start. I mean, I think you probably would have come on second half to come and do changes. But I think, to be fair, we have to be fair to what was available on the day. Eze got injured in the Leverkusen game. Odegaard has been injured for months. We don't have another creative player. You probably could have played. I mean, you've tried Saka in the 10. It didn't work for the 2-3 games that he played there. And I've always said it, with Zubomendi and Rice, they can't play together as double pivot. You've got to have to let Rice free up on. If you don't have a out and out creative player, you have to free Rice up to play him in the 8th, and have maybe in this case Havertz in another 8. So you got to have a right and a left 8, and maybe in that way, because you put 2 people around Rodri, whereby Rodri was free. You don't have that. I mean, if you had Eze probably would have played in that pocket there. But now you've got 2 pivots. You're very defensive. You have to put Rice into a left 8 and have to put Kai Havertz in the right 8 to give them more a collective, creative sort of output. But to bring Darman in from the word go, I think our fans are trying too hard to make Darman out to be maybe he could have been the Messiah, but he's still 16 years old. You know, do you put a 16-year-old under that amount of pressure? Let's go to the Wembley final, and Darman is the main man. How can we put that pressure on such a young shoulder? I think from the word go, there was tactic problems. So I think we have to be wary of where we're going to go with Darman. Let him grow into himself. Let him. I mean, yes, we're making assumptions about Yamal and whatever other young player that came out before, like Owen and Rooney. Yes, it's probably in isolation that not every young player will make it big.
Trouble was, Glenn Wynn, right? They weren't playing terrible, right? But 60, 65 minutes, they had it 2-0 down, they're chasing the game. And he didn't really put anyone on to sort of try and recover that.
Yeah,
why didn't he play Martinelli?
That's what I'm saying. You got to take it in context. I mean, fans are crying out, why didn't Darman start? I mean, that is huge. I mean, all of us understand that he's a very good player and he's a very good ball player. He probably could have made a difference. We don't know. It's hindsight. But why are we taking it out of context? Darman has to be protected. People are saying he must.
The game was lost, weren't it, after that second goal?
That's one
Man City
moment.
was coming
That's
to
one
lose.
moment, John. Where we gonna draw the line? That's one moment in an Everton game. This is a final, for Pete's sake. We can't put that much of pressure on that young boy. And I mean, all the fans are calling. English fans are calling him out. Tuchel must put him in the World Cup squad. Are we really gonna go there?
No, I wouldn't
Prosper,
say. No, I wouldn't have
Prosper,
played him from
what
the
do you
beginning.
reckon? Sorry, John. I just want to try and get Prosper in. Prosper,
Go
what
on,
do you
mate. Yeah,
reckon?
go on. Sorry.
It's crazy. Yeah? If you look at it from a from what Len is saying, those are very valid points. But I'm looking at Darwin's soccer history. He's always played like in the maybe 2 years younger than the teams he's played for. Like the age group, he's always been 2 years younger than the age group he's played in. He's been that good ever since he was young. So he wouldn't have that pressure because that's been his soccer career. Like he's always 2 years younger than the age group he's played in because he was that good. You know? Now you go down, and you don't have an attacking midfielder. And you see there's a problem. You need an attacking midfielder. You are a manager. You have to call the young lad. You've seen young players come into the game, the Cristiano Ronaldo, the Messi, the Rafael that are at Madrid, are at Manu. You're the manager. You tell him, look, we're already losing. Doesn't matter what you're doing there, but just go and try and do something. If you do it right, your name goes high. If you do it wrong, we're gonna try next time. You're still young. So just throw in the young lad. And you never know, Rodri would have had a tough time because he doesn't understand that player. Guardiola doesn't understand that player. He didn't expect us to play that player. But Kai Havertz is a reach. You know, Kai Havertz is not a good ball handler. We needed a good ball handler in that position. You see, so for me, I think I would have put him in. We're losing anyway. Nobody's playing well, not even the captain. So he can be blamed. I would have thrown him in just to see what happens. You know? Yeah, so for me, I think I would have played that.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. Prosper, bring him in at the end, change the game. But I'm talking from a perspective. What I've heard on the socials is that, in hindsight, so many Arsenal fans are blaming Arteta not for starting him. You can't start him. For sure, we can't start him. You gotta have to come in and say, now we're losing the game. Let's change the game and see what we can do. Now you put Darman on because that's what he did on the Everton game. Since Darman came in the Everton game, we scored 2 goals. So yes, also the timing of the substitutions was made brilliantly on that day. But again, if Darman had to start and failed, and if Darman, yes, we would probably say he's young, he will learn, but that boy is not going to accept it that way. He's going to see he's a failure. Everybody has expected this of me, and now I've failed my team. I have failed my fans, and that is the other part of putting so much pressure on that young boy. He's grounded. We don't know what the discussion was between his family and the club, because his dad is now he's got his agent license and everything. He made sure he gets the license. So there is conversations, and he's a kid. He still go to school. So there is communication. You have to protect my boy. Because they don't want to pick up the pieces at the end of the day. And I agree with you, Prosper, and agree with you, John, that boy can make a difference. He has shown it before. But are we going to, in hindsight again, if all else has failed, we're going to say, but now, why will you put that youngster in that position? That is the different narrative. That's a different argument at the end of the day. We're going to still blame Arteta because now we've put in Darman, and he is shattered. His confidence is gone, maybe. We don't know those things, but we're going to still blame somebody for the downfall of that as well. So where you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So where do we draw the line? You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
would say, Glenn. I would say, Glenn, that in the grand scheme of things, if the game is going away from you and you haven't even from the first half, you had maybe one or two chances, and you're down 2 goals, and you're not getting any inspiration from your captain, who, as John rightly says, to me, Saka's been overplayed. I'm not sure if Madueke played
He did come
in the
on,
final.
yeah, came on.
Okay, so he came on and maybe try to force something. I would, in order to try and say at least we tried everything. For me, I would, from what I understand about Dowman, he's got a really good support group. His parents look out for him. He's got a good head on his shoulders as well. He came into the Everton match. I didn't see what was going to happen. I think most of us Arsenal fans didn't see what was going to happen, and it happened for him. So the protection for him now is to make sure the manager protects him well, and his teammates also, as well as his extended support system. So, but there's been younger players who've come in, and they did what they did, and some flourish, some have their time in the sun, and unfortunately, maybe one or two of them have disappeared. So I was, just in order to try and get at least one goal. Could you imagine if he did manage to play and get a penalty or something? I would have been happy that at least we scored, we scored a goal, not go out in a whimper like we have done. And it's not the first time when we play against Man City we've done that. It's twice or maybe 3 times in the final that's happened to us as well. So for me, it's frustrating that Arteta is still not learning. It's frustrating that you've got senior players that have been in finals, whether it's for club or country, and still don't understand that, let's try and get this over the line. Let's have a shot. Let's try, no tiki-taki football. Try something unexpected. Yeah, okay, we went long ball, whatever the scenario was, but try something. I don't want to hear any more. We'll take the positives out of this game. The game's gone. There's no more positives to gain from. The game's gone now. What more do you have
no
to
positives
learn
in that game, man?
I feel I'm ranting a bit. We got some comments.
No positives.
Some comments here.
Yeah, the comments is the comments that I put out was earlier on, and I don't think there's any new comments. That was from Boring.
Okay. Well, this one's from Boring AC saying, "What go on panel?" Angie Beer, the First Lady. Good evening, boys. Good evening, Ange. Hope you're good. Emerson, I haven't heard this guy for a long time. Hi, Emerson. Hope you're well. All good.
Yeah.
And then that's
Emerson, tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, you've asked the question earlier on about the mentality, and like John also said, I don't see we in the Premier League, and I've always said that the Premier League is the ultimate trophy that we need to win this season. Everything else is a plus. We don't have to be bothered if we didn't win that. It would have been nice to have this first trophy. I believe you me, I am very disappointed we didn't get it. But I've always maintained the Premier League is the ultimate. And if we can get that one over the line, and I don't think the mentality should change now, because I think they would use that loss as fuel. And I mean, if you look at Gyökeres, I've watched that game last night. If you look at how he plays, he's hungry, and that loss has got no impact on his game. Norgard has scored last night. He played very well. I've watched all the games in between as well. Italy, I've seen Calafiori had a brilliant game for what I've seen that he's done. And then of course, those are the things that won't derail our players from not going to the last, even if it's on the last day, to go and get this over the line. I think we are too far ahead in terms of points, and also I know that the guys can take that loss, turn it around, and just go and play football. And I pray that Mikel Arteta will just allow these boys just to express themselves. I think you will probably learn from. I hope you will learn from what he has done in this final. And if he had watched the games of Italy and of Sweden, then he probably will change. And even Martinelli played in a friendly last night against France. He also had a stinker. So I think Martinelli is going to be not starting for a while now. So we have to really get behind the boys. I mean, you guys are there.
Sorry to butt in. What was Arteta's excuse? What did he come up with? Was there? I didn't really read into it. I dealt with it all. What did Mikel Arteta say about it all?
It's just, I think he just said that they weren't.
Sorry, John, I didn't hear that. Say that again.
Oh, Sam, what did Mikel Arteta say about it? What was his excuse?
Yeah, they didn't defend. They didn't defend well. They didn't.
What did
they didn't take
Mikel
their chances.
About it all?
The normal things that you say is that they missed their chances, and they opened up the game to City. They opened up the door, and also with the mistakes. I think that is what he said. There's not much.
So he didn't really take the blame. He should have took the blame for it.
Probably, yeah.
He obviously didn't have him fired up for that game for some reason.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, it's hindsight. Everything, and if we won the game, we didn't play well, we probably would have said we didn't deserve it, but we won it, and we wouldn't care how we won it, isn't it? At the end of the day, the game is gone.
I think we had a couple of matches like that, didn't we?
Yeah.
We've had a couple of matches where we scraped a win or something. So maybe somewhere along the lines balancing itself out.
Yeah, I think Prosper, if we had won that game like we did every other game by just playing boring football, do you think we would have bothered in how we played and still win the cup?
That's something I always look at. I've always said Arsenal, even if we're so confident that we might take the lead, but we have won so many games out of corners, centre backs, just scrapping it out. Probably sometimes they eat away because we're always harassing goalkeepers, but we've taken points out of that. Now,
but would you care if we win it?
I would care because we still have the Premier League, still have the Champions League, and that's what happened exactly.
I'm talking about any trophy. It depends if we've played the way we've played most of the season and we win any trophy. I wouldn't care.
Winning a trophy it's something that we all want. When we downplay things like we don't need those trophies, it's been 30-something years without that trophy. That's a long time, and that's pressure. Now we're going to the mentality. That's pressure already on the team. 30-something years, now it's 33 because we're counting up. We're gonna cross this river, and we didn't cross it. Now we're going to the third year without that trophy. The Premier League is 22 now, right?
Yeah.
So that's more pressure. You see? So if we keep on downplaying trophies, when do we get that mentality, that roadblock out of the head that, okay, we've done this now. Can we build on this? You see? So because we lost that game, I feel the players have put a lot more pressure now than they had for that game to win the league. We're looking at the league, we're thinking we have so many points ahead of Man City, but it's only 6 points because they've got a game in hand.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's points on the board. It's still 9 until they win that game. They have
But,
to win that game to get
Yeah.
6 points. It's not a guaranteed 3
Do
points.
you know what? We've got to play West Ham as well. That's a tricky game. They're playing for their lives, you know. They're fighting to stay
I've
up.
looked at the City game, and if they get the game, that's 6 points. And we're going to play Man City after Bournemouth. Just after the next game, we play Man City. We lose against them. They're coming from a thumping from Real Madrid. We had won our Champions League game. Our spirits were high. All that is mental pressure on players. What we have to do now to get over the line, and it's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be turbulence to the end of the season from now on. I really hope we don't fall apart, because what Bournemouth holds us, then Man City comes, then it's going to be crazy. So mentally, I think we've put ourselves at a very, very hot spot, and I don't know how we're going to get out there, but now Arteta is juggling two balls, the Champions League and the Premier League. He has to decide on which one he wants to take right now, and decide early.
I think the next game we play is
Would you
Southampton.
Would you take the Champions League
Yeah.
over the Premiership title, Prosper?
No,
Yes.
I won't take that. I will take the Premier League.
No.
That's the
Premier
trophy.
League.
I want the Premier League.
Premier League for me. I don't.
I know we haven't won the Champions League.
Yeah, but we need the Premier
Yes.
League first. We first need to be the champions of England before we can be champions of Europe. You gotta have to take it.
The reason I say that, we've got less games in the Champions League, haven't we? So, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's Sporting Lisbon, isn't it, on the first leg?
Yeah, Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, but now we gotta still maintain, as per what Prosper alluded to. Our next game is Southampton, and we have to win that game in order to go with a strong mentality into the Bournemouth game, because Bournemouth is at home and Southampton is away. So if we go to Southampton and beat them on their ground, we are good to wait for Bournemouth to come to us. Last season Bournemouth beat us home and away. They had 6 points on us.
Southampton is a hard game.
It is a hard game, but
that's a real tricky game. Peter pulled us in our group. He's from up that way. He knows quite a bit about them. They are going to be a really hard team. Just go back to Mansfield, mate. They gave us a run for the money. Do you know what I mean? So it does make you wonder, will Arteta sacrifice certain players? Will you just think, well, I've got to go with the Premier League or the Champions League now, and blow it, not take the FA Cup seriously? Honestly, these are questions that need to be asked. And
but now this is where we as fans have to come to
Glenn said, let's take it one match at a time.
Yeah, it's one match
this is
at a
where the
time.
fans.
The next game is Southampton. And that's a wake-up call. FA Cup, was it 6th round, away, really tough game.
But now there's a question that's hanging in the air, is that if we're gonna sacrifice, like John says, sacrifice players and go for the Premier League, what narrative are we gonna create for ourselves in not taking this FA Cup for serious as well? I mean, Prosper said earlier on, and I've said it all my life, is that if you win one trophy, you will breed a mentality of winning. We've lost the first trophy. We have to go out and still play our beautiful football that we know we can, and go beat Southampton, because that will give us even more a winning mentality. Because now we're pushing, not like previous seasons, we're playing a second string team. We're gonna have to go strong. We're gonna have to go show and make a statement and show City that we have lost the first cup, but we are in it still for 3. So we're gonna have to play Southampton and beat them, and then wait for Bournemouth to come to the Emirates. and beat them, and then we're going to City. Then we can concentrate on City. Now we first have to Southampton, then we have Bournemouth. We're going to have to take every game serious until the last of the season. We can't afford to not take any game serious.
Don't forget, we've got a few injuries as well. Saliba's out now, isn't he? Easy's out.
It's Saliba out.
Saliba's
Do we know how
injured
long
at the
for?
moment, isn't he?
Yeah,
Easy's injured.
there's no confirmation as to how long. It's just they didn't go to the national teams, and I mean, there's also something in there that I'm not even sure of. Eze is 4 to 6 weeks. Saliba and Gabriel there's no confirmation as to how long, and then of course Odegaard is meant to be back after this break. So he'll be back for Southampton and Bournemouth apparently. So there is some sort of.
What about Yuri Timber? I heard that Yuri Timber before the he was injured as well.
Back. He's also back
while,
after the international break. Talks has said that he could be back for the Bournemouth game.
Right.
But going back to Arteta, right, he's proven that he don't always put the best team out for the cup games, you know. So he's not, that mentality thing don't really work with him. He put out who he wants. Is he going to put his full strength team out? He proved in
I think he'll play Dalman in that game again in the FA Cup. He'll play Dalman there because that is a cup game, and I think seeing what Dalman did against Mansfield, he'll probably play Dalman again in this game as well. Dalman should have had a hat-trick in that Mansfield game, and considering the bad pitch that we played on, he had that ball on his feet all the way. So I think he'll play Dalman in the cup game.
He should do. But, you know, like you said, relying on a 16-year-old kid at the end of the day is pressure, isn't it? Even though it's the FA Cup.
Again, John, as you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. So
I know, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. My policy's always been, if you're good enough, you're old enough, mate. That's always been my policy. Yeah. But obviously, you've got to nurture him. You can't put all the pressure on these.
No, for sure you can't. But again, like I say, this is a cup game where we're going to have to win. And if Odegaard is not back, we don't have a creative player. I mean, then you have to do total changes in your midfield because you can't play Havertz in a 10. You can't.
I think that's where manager ends his worth, you know. We have seen this over and over again. It's been in soccer for so long. Sometimes teams go without their key players in positions, and we've seen Ancelotti switch players. We've seen Ferguson switch players. We've seen Wenger switch players and play them in positions that are not natural players and win games. So this is where a manager ends his mind. He has to be flexible with formations and systems. When you don't have your attacking midfielders, you gotta think. I was expecting him to play Trossard on the 10th position that game, because Trossard has got quick feet, you know, and he's an intelligent player. That ball that Havertz found, if it had fallen on Trossard's feet, it was a goal. You see, but Havertz hesitated for a moment, and the goalkeeper came out and closed it up. You know, so those are the fine margins that you have to see. Okay, I don't have an attacking midfielder, a number 10. What do I do? Who can play number 10? Natural fits. There's Trossard. There was, is it Eze?
Yeah.
So you play on the line, bring in Trossard to support Gyökeres, and you have football being played there. I mean, you can't put a 16-year-old starting lineup, critical game like that one. I hope he does something in the next FA Cup game, because it's a game as crucial as well. and he has to figure out how to play. This is what we
Yeah.
do the off season. We always talk about look at what you buy. The problem with Arsenal, it hasn't been buying defending midfielders. You see, because I didn't feel that we had a defending midfielder, box to box defending like Partey was, who would have put Rice up or would have pushed Zubamendi up in 10 position, try to do something there. And there should have been a backup there to block. But because we don't have players in abundance, it's always buying goalkeepers for I don't know what reasons and wing backs. I don't know for what reason. We find ourselves in a position whereby we lack in the midfield when we have a few injuries. You see? So for me, I think these are learning curvatures, but we have to learn fast and we have to adjust. We really need a box-to-box defending midfielder in that team. And that's why we can push Rice up or Zubamendi up if we don't have an attacking midfield.
Guys, I'm going to ask your predictions for our next match, which is Southampton. What do you reckon the score's going to be? I'll go with Prosper first, and then Glenwyn, and then you, John. So, Prosper, what do you reckon the score's going to be? Prediction.
A 1-0 or a 1-1. It can go either way.
You're sitting on the fence then. 0-1 or 1-1.
I mean, we take
I'm going to go to the penalties or something.
1-0 for Arsenal or a draw, then penalties or something if the penalties to be played. But I don't think we will score as many goals. It's going to be low.
So low scoring game. So you reckon either 1-0 or draw, and then on to penalties.
Yeah.
Okay.
1-0.
John the Gooner, what do you reckon?
Well, I'm not going to sit on the fence like Prosper. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal. But it ain't going to be an
3-1
easy
Arsenal.
3-1. Yeah, I'm going to...
Right.
Don't forget, we're going for 15 FA Cup wins here, aren't we? So hopefully Mikel's going to take it serious. But I think they're going to bounce back. I think they have to bounce back. Yeah, that's the only answer to that last cup final. They have to bounce back. So I'll go 3-1.
Glenwyn?
Yeah, I'm gonna also not sit on the fence like Prosper. I'm gonna go for a 2. I'm gonna go for a 2-1. We're gonna have to win this game, and I believe we can. 2-1 for me.
You know what? I think it's going to be a bit of a scrappy game. I think it's going to be 1-0.
To the Arsenal.
Confidence is there. I think it's going to be scrappy. It's going to be 1-0, I reckon, to us. But it's going to be scrappy. It's going to be scrappy. Okay,
Yeah.
So guys, thank you ever so much for joining us on the Easy Talk. I know I feel a bit ring rusty to be fair, because this is Alex's baby. It's our baby, but it was Alex's. You know, Alex was the anchor man when it came to the Easy Talk. So I really appreciate the guys. Thank you, Prosper. Thank you, John. Thank you, Glenwyn, as well, for sorting, especially the thumbnail up. I wish we had a bit more traction, but hey, listen, it's the first of many. It's my first of many, so give me a break. Like, I'm trying to like hold this up for Alex, and for us Arsenal fans.
Yeah, you've got big feet. You've got big feet to stand in, man. That was the story.
And trust me, Alex had big feet. He did have big feet. He did. So I'm trying to paddle my way in steadily. But I really appreciate you guys for turning up this evening. And
thanks
anyone who's watching, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Anything for the
Alex would have said this before as well. That
Thanks for having us on,
anything,
Ralph.
exactly.
I think you've done marvellous, mate. It's not been easy for you to come on here, mate. And I still feel, don't know about the other lads there, but but I still feel that Alex is here in our presence, you know, and he's
He
probably
is.
laughing
He
at us
is.
saying, "What the hell are that lot
What?
doing?"
I tell you what. More, I'm sure he's laughing at me because I was going to share this video, but I'll do that another time. Where he said that he wants me to host, and I said, yeah, no problem. And I was thinking, yeah, it's quite easy. But it's not. You've got so many personalities. You want to make sure that everybody gets their piece to say, and of course you have the indomitable El Tel, which I'm sure he's still in the pub at this moment in time because he was meant to join us, and he could, but and then he disappeared. So El Tel, wherever you are, have one on us as well. Guys, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks very much again for joining us on Easy Talk, Channel for TV, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. And I know anxious to do this or do this, I'll do that. Because I'm looking at you guys. Take care. And Arsenal, you got it all to do. You got to win the fans back. All to do. Let's see what we can do against Southampton. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.